Oh, good question. Well, there's a certain element of just mystery and strange magic that goes on. I think when you're creating anything from a book to a poem to music, not that I can do that, but anyway, but there were a few elements that kind of came together to create the faithful. One was that I that meteorite that struck above Russia in 2013, February 2013, that, for whatever reason, kind of inspired me. And I got interested in meteorites and who's looking at these things and why don't we know when they happen. And so I learned more about meteorite hunters, and the main character, Rianne, became a meteorite hunter in my mind. In terms of the psychic abilities of the characters, really, I think I've just had a lifelong fascination with that. I have absolutely no skills in that area myself, but my grandmother, when I was growing up, she read tea leaves, and I have to say she did a really good job of predicting things that were going to happen in my life and in other lives, people she read tea leaves for. The children going missing, I think, just comes from my feelings as a mother. I don't think I ever worried about things until I became a mother, and then you have so many different fears, and one of my big ones, of course, I'm sure every parent agrees with me, is losing a child in some way, whether it's to death or to kidnapping, or and the horror of not knowing what happened to them. I think that's kind of where that inspiration came from. Oh, well, I think I'm very fortunate. I've always had a very supportive family. I still do. I had a very supportive family growing up, but I really was not the best student. I was very much a daydreamer in class, and I just frankly didn't pay attention to anything unless it actually interested me. So the subjects that interested me generally were anything to do with English and literature, and history interested me. But because of that, I honestly, I had a lot of teachers growing up who probably would not have considered me their favorite student. So I had this one amazing teacher in grade 7, and he kind of turned things around for me. His name was Mr. Bedard, and he was fantastic. He saw something in me, and he really encouraged my writing. And I mean, I wrote terrible, terrible poetry, and I wrote one really horrid novel that I truly hope never sees the light of day. But I think it was him that really kind of was the first outside person outside of my family who encouraged me in something that I really wanted to do, which was write. Yeah, if I say Sumner, what will what will you think of me? Um, yeah, I honestly, they're all a little bit of me. They all came from me and my weird head. I think I'm a little bit of each of them. I think I've got. I think Josh is kind of my sense of um, stability and my sense of responsibility, and he's got quite a poetic heart, and I think I think that part of me came through in Josh. Um, Rianne, unfortunately, I think I have her eating habits. Okay, maybe not completely. I'm not as bad as her, but she's me. She's the female side of me, the kind of fun and sassy and kind of strange. Doesn't like exercise, all of that kind of stuff. Um, Sumner, unfortunately, Sumner has my sense of humor. that's that's where my sense of humor went, is into Sumner. Yeah, well, I have to say I never really considered genre when I was writing The Faithful. I just had this story in my head that I needed to get out, and it went where it went. It wasn't until I finished writing it that I realized I have to fit it into a category, and I kind of went, I don't know. Is it sci-fi? Is it mystery, thriller, suspense? There's so many different categories, genres, subgenres. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure where it fits, but I have to say some of the greatest books I've ever read are in that kind of milieu where you can't really say they fit specifically into one category or another. Like, for example, Diana Gabaldon's books. How do you categorize that? The fact that it's categorized, I think, I could be wrong, but I think as romance, it doesn't say anything about her books. The Outlander series I'm talking about, for those of you who don't know it. So yeah, that's kind of where I ended up. I'm not sure why I write in so many genres, and just kind of do. Yes, I'm already making the movie in my mind. I grew up with the Brat Pack. I am a Brat Packer, and that's a word. And I always had Rob Lowe in mind as Josh. I just think he's fantastic, and just, such a great actor. Um, James Spader, I am so in love with him in The Blacklist. I think he can deliver a line like nobody else. He's just unbelievably fantastic. And I really could see him as like Father Narda, or maybe Father Barnabas, or I don't know, somebody kind of creepy in any case. But really, I could see him even playing Sumner, or something. I don't know. Um, Sumner, originally, when I was writing it, I pictured Kiefer Sutherland. That's how I kind of envisioned him looking. As Sumner developed, I'm not really sure who he became. I don't know. I don't know if he's Kiefer anymore, my fellow Canadian. I'm just not sure. And Rianne, I honestly, I have no idea. She's where I draw a blank. I see her in my mind, and I haven't really gone looking, but I don't see any particular actress. Maybe like a younger Julianne Moore, because she's just fantastic and beautiful, but I have no idea. Oh, well, there's a number of different authors that have influenced me over time, and so many different stories that I like. But off the top of my head, really, I love Sue Grafton. I love her alphabet series. I think her main character, Kinsey Mulhone, is just smart and sassy, and I think I really relate to her because I actually spent 7 years of my life as a private investigator. So, and my business, the work that I did for it was quite different than what happens to Kinsey, but it just kind of, I related to it. I love Jodi Picoult. I love her character development. I think she does such a great job of building these really ultra realistic characters that you just think they're real people, and they've got depth and beauty and ugliness, and it's just fantastic. Um, my ultimate, if I could choose one author that I wanted to mentor me, it would be Stephen King. I just love him. I think he's just got the most amazing, enthralling imagination. Um, I can't imagine my life without stories like It or The Stand, or even new ones. Like, he wrote this fantastic book about the Kennedy assassination. It's fantastic. I think he's just incredible, and his writing is lean, and it's gritty, and it's real, and he makes scenes that have stuck with me. um, Even, some of his stories I haven't read for 20 years, but there are scenes that are stuck in my mind and in my heart forever. um, and yeah, he's just fantastic. I love him. Yes, it is. It's the first in a series. I am currently working on the sequel to The Faithful, and it is a little more slow going, which I was warned it would be. The first one, that's all you focus on. The second one, you have you're writing, but you're also trying to market your first one and do all the things required for that. So yes, I am writing the sequel, and I do hope it will be out sometime in 2015. Okay, so I think that's all our time. Thanks. Thank you. Thanks.